Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. If you're listening to this on audio, please give us a thumbs up and please subscribe. If you're listening to this on YouTube, please thumbs up and please subscribe. It's been a very, very long day, so please subscribe. And also, if you're listening to this on our audio platform, make sure you download this episode and more episodes, and don't forget to leave in 5-star rating. All right, I'm very excited because I'm so happy to welcome the singer-songwriter here to this on my platform. His music has been praised by Billboard in 1883 and also has been featured in All American, Criminal Minds, iZombie, and Shameless. And as this recording has over 114,000 monthly Spotify listeners. So please help me welcome Jeffrey James to the podcast.
Woo! Self-clap. Hey. Cheering myself in.
Don't worry, you are not the first person to do that, my friend.
Oh, good. No, I'm not the only cheesy person. How you doing, man?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm very excited to have you here. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk with me.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right, Jeffrey, so let's get started. When did you get interested in performing, and how did that passion evolve desire to pursue a career in the entertainment industry?
I kind of always was a performer. I don't know if it came out of being a middle child and trying to please everybody, but also everyone in my family. I have two sisters, and them and both my parents all sang. So we were all like the cheesy family doing long road trips in the car, singing like 3-part harmony to like Beatles songs and stuff. So was always a performer. Immediately jumped into choir, and then I went to school here in Belmont University, which is in Nashville, Tennessee. And I originally was there for like a music business program. I knew I wanted to do something around music. But then halfway through my first semester, I was like, man, all I want to do is write songs and perform. And I'd already been writing songs since like high school. And so I switched majors, became a music major, and never looked back.
I gotta say, with your family, it sounds like Partridge Family.
It's a little bit that cheesy. Yeah. Back to the cheesiness, but it's, yeah, they, everyone could sing. I have extended family who all were like music teachers, and I had an uncle who literally wrote the book on the Hal Leonard how to play guitar books, like the lesson books. Like,
oh wow!
So I should be a much better guitar player than I am, but it all led to me having a love of music. Yeah.
And also, I gotta say, fellow choir kid here, 5th grade and 12th grade.
Love it.
Alrighty. So we gotta stop talking about our past, talk about some of the sounds so who are the recording artists and musicians that inspired your sound?
It's really all over the board. Like I said, I grew up listening to like from my parents, the Beatles and groups like the Doobie Brothers in Chicago. But then when I was discovering my own music that I loved, again, really all over the place. Everyone from like Janelle Monáe, I can't get enough of her, to like Bill Withers, and David Byrne of the Talking Heads, and then bands like Coldplay and Oasis, and yeah, just kind of really all over the board.
I'm glad you got a fellow Kansas City and then with Janelle Monáe, so I got to give you that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you are based in Nashville, and you're a bass pop music artist. So in your humble opinion, how has the city embraced pop music while being a predominant country music town?
I really think it has. It's as much as it is the genre of country music is what brought music to Nashville. Well, I guess the industry to Nashville. The industry's kind of opened up that like they're going to respect the music you do if you're kind of a songwriter first. I think even the non-country people, we learned from the countryside that like it's about the lyrics and what the song's supposed to mean. So if you go to LA, sometimes they're more of like a music first town. A lot of great songwriters there as well. Not to say anything against them, but country music has opened up their arms to be like, all right, if you're a good songwriter, then you're a good songwriter, and you can come and do that anywhere.
And I gotta say that I have to lean with the songwriters on this part, because the thing is, if you have a great song, a great story, and if it's like basically what I've been hearing stories with, reading stories with Nashville or listening to podcasts, let's say with Nashville, it feels like there's like 6 to 8 songwriting rooms going on at once.
Oh yeah. I mean, we learn, and I used to, when I was starting out, I had a lot of friends who were in the country world, and I would write with them a little bit. I haven't done that for years now, just because I found my own voice and took off my own path. But we're writing, I have friends who are writing, especially in the country world, you know, 2 songs a day, 5 days a week, and those are like written and fully recorded songs. In the pop world, we don't do quite as much. We might focus on one song a little bit longer, but you're still writing every day. Every year I'm writing an average of like 100 songs probably, just to hone that craft and write the best song possible.
It's amazing to do that because I hear like so many people with the pop in the pop world, like some people are like, so it's like easy for them. Like Sia, I've been hearing wonders that she writes songs like under 30 minutes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I'm not. I don't think I'm at Sia level, but that's why Sia is Sia. But I definitely like. I do have some songs that I wrote in 30 minutes, but most of my songs are like take most of the day. And if I'm writing on my own, usually I get a little more in my head. Also, when you're writing on your own, question every line. So it might take me a couple days to write a song, but I'm pretty fast.
Is it easy to get collaborators or because it sounds like with countries, like there's a line waiting out the door, but like pop music on the other hand, it feels like it's so different. It's like basically like 1 or like 20, like sometimes I've seen 20 because of samples.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm usually always writing with another songwriter or artist. I write for a lot of artists as well, and there's tons of non-country in Nashville. The industry's all moved here. They found out that we're here, and they're like, oh, how can we make money off these people? So it's really easy. I usually only have though 1 or 2 other people in the room. I think once you get to certain levels, like you're talking about with the Beyoncés, where there's like multiple people writing on a track, that'll happen. But especially with when I'm writing my own stuff, I usually only have 1 or 2 because at one point it becomes just too many cooks in the kitchen.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'd rather listen to original stuff than songs that have like at least 5, 6 samples in them.
Yeah, I don't hate samples. I think if it has a purpose, then it makes sense. If you're just using it to use it, then it's like any kind of art. It needs to have a purpose to it.
Absolutely. So your music has been featured on multiple television shows such as All American, Criminal Minds, iZombie, and Shameless. So what goes through your mind when you and your team get requests to include your music into these shows?
Well, usually it starts. I have a specific team that specifically pitches my songs out to those shows. So I don't think I've ever turned down a sync. There might be 1 or 2 that I was like, that's kind of a weird thing. But usually I love the fact because it's such a a great chance for people to hear my song that might never hear it, and then it's also cool to see when it comes out how what they use it in. Is it a really cool moment? How does my song help affect the scene? And it's just a great kind of special time every time. I never get tired of it.
And that's incredible. So I got to say, I would love to talk to you about some of the story, and learn about more about the stories behind some of the songs that I have selected.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I want to start with you. It was secured your collaboration with August Kid, and as of this recording, it has over 458,000 Spotify streams.
Yeah, I love that song. And August Kid is a DJ out of Italy. What's cool about that, I've been able to connect with a few different DJs in Europe, and I've never met him. We just talk over WhatsApp and email, and he sent me a track that he loved, and it was like, hey, I know I love your voice and I love your songwriting. Do you think if I send you something, do you think you'd be able to write to it? And so he sent me this track, and it was awesome. I had some thoughts on it, and I kind of did my thing where I chopped up his track and rearranged it to where I thought it might work for a song. And then how I like to write for a dance track is I'll break the song down to just acoustic guitar. So I kind of get the whole like dance side out of my brain, and I'm like, all right, can I write a song that's up tempo that just also works on acoustic? And it already had the feel of kind of a love song. And I'm in a very happy relationship, so I'm able to pull from that. And yeah, that's how With You came about. And then it was released on a label out of the Netherlands, and it's been doing great. I'm really proud of it.
That's amazing. It's like sometimes I'm surprised at how well dance tracks go well with it's like if you wind them down because I remember watching. I'm so sorry, spoiler on Masked Singer when Wilson Phillips competed. They did "What Is Love" and they did brilliantly with that rearrangement. And then I remember hearing some of my like Frenchie Davis, one of my all-time favorite guests on this platform, do "When Love Takes Over" acoustically as well. And it's like, and also Titanium's been on so many talent shows, and some of them have done wonders regarding acoustic.
Yeah, I think it just goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Is a good song is a good song, and you can record it and rearrange it 12 different ways. But if the melody and the lyrics all work, then it's going to work in any way, man.
And also, I think it's like so much better right now because I remember thinking about going back to the 90s when it's just starting out, like the Backstreet Boys and Britney and everything. Like you would have to wait for like at least a day or two to get the tape before you would have to transcribe everything. So like, thank God you're able to get something in instead of like 2 days, you get it in maybe 2 hours.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of where we're at with technology right now. And it honestly saved myself, and I know most songwriters and producers I know over the pandemic, not to bring us back to that time, but we were able to like, basically I could talk to someone like you right here and you'd be the producer working on the track, emailing me the track, and then I'm cutting vocals at my house and sending the vocals to you over like Google Drive or whatever in real time. And you still have you're writing a song almost as fast, if not faster than you would in person. It's cool.
All right, I want to talk to you about another collaboration, Love Needs You with Matt Stubbs, and it's getting close to hitting that 1 million Spotify. It's at 9,900. Yeah, it is after this recording.
I think. Well, let me see. It's any day now. I don't know if it's hit it yet. That's a good question. We should look. But this is a fun song. I wrote it with two other producers just as a top line. Like we weren't sure what we wanted to do with the track, and Tony Esterly and DQ were the other two songwriters. And I had it for a couple years. And then Matt Stubbs reached out and was like, "Hey, do you have any top lines?" And a top line, for anybody who doesn't know, is just the melody and the lyrics. I think our version of it had a little bit of a piano underneath it, but I knew I wanted to write it kind of as this stripped down thing and see if a producer or a DJ could take it. And Matt Stubbs, maybe might have been like a year later, reached out about that song. And what's cool when you work with DJs is that they think of songwriting and making a song in a very different way than the kind of your standard songwriter, even out of Nashville. We think of like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, but they might take, a part that you think is a chorus and chop it up and put it first, and then they have the bridge twice or something. And that's what Matt Stubbs did with "Love You Need You." And it's people loved it because of that. And it came out. It's the great beauty of collaboration is it's kind of you make something you wouldn't have made on your own.
All right. While we're on the subject of collaborations, I want to talk about the last collaboration I chose for you. It's "Let's Get Close" with Love to Vic. I hope I said his name right.
Ludovic. Lutvik. Yeah, Ludovic is his name. Yeah.
And 1.7 million Spotify streams as of this recording.
Yeah, that's another. You're picking all my dance tracks, which is great because I do love singing. That's a French DJ duo called Ludovic. And "Let's Get Close" was another one. I actually wrote that as a regular pop song here in Nashville. And in the same way, they reached out asking if I had any top lines, and I hadn't done anything with that song, but I loved it, and I sent it to them, and that was one of my first ever dance tracks I ever worked with, actually. And again, what they made with the track was so much more than the song that I wrote, which I loved.
That's amazing to hear. That's amazing. So we got to talk about "Good Friends," a solo track for you, 1.5 million.
Yeah, "Good Friends," man, is on kind of the last, I haven't made a full album in a long time. I do a lot of singles and things. And "Good Friends" was the first single of my Walls album. It's more of an EP, but it's just long enough to be an album. I think it's like 9 songs or something. Yeah, that was kind of the first song that I really saw a response. One of the first songs that I got a good response from people when I was like, "Oh, I think this is I'm being very honest with myself in this song, and people are responding to honesty. So that song always has a special place in my heart.
All righty. How about All I Need Is You?
All,
2.6 million.
You know what? All I Need Is You is that little song that could. I think it was one of the first songs I wrote about my my wife, my partner, my lady, and it's years ago now. And to that point, the Sia point, I wrote that song in just about 30 minutes, and then recorded it. Conrad Snyder produced it, and a guy named Ian Fitchick played piano on it. Ian's gone on to write and produce. Actually, he produced on the new Beyonce record. He does all the Casey Musgrave stuff, and people love it. It's just a bluesy ballad, and it just keeps chucking along. It's cool.
And sounds like your producer could be the next Andrew Watt.
He's up there, man. Yeah,
absolutely. So I want to talk to you about Day by Day. I love the song, and I gotta say thank you so much for the Instagram shout out. Those words meant a lot to me.
No, I appreciate it, man. You had me up there with like some other big artists, so it meant a lot that you recognize the song. And Day by Day is a really fun song. We just released yesterday a music video for it. That's kind of silly. In this world of making a bunch of content, I was like, why not make something silly? So, Day by Day just released this past week. Depending on when this podcast comes out.
Oh, by the way, I gotta say this. I love the choir, the gospel choir in the chorus. It is absolutely brilliant.
Thank you. That's I was lucky enough to write that song with John Davidson and Jacob Bryant. They're in a great indie rock band called the Brummies, and both of them are exceptional singers. So I immediately was like, all right, guys, usually I'm the one singing everything, but I pulled them in and to sing with me, and Jacob had some great ideas for other harmonies. So it just gave this like massive choir feel. And I love that stuff too.
You're telling me that 3 people were part of that choir?
That's just 3 people. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry that my mind is blown, but that's great. Amazing. Those 3 people felt like 30.
That's the magic of recording, man. Yeah. We just lay it ourselves. I sang alone, Jacob sang alone, John sang alone. And then we did like probably 5 or 6 takes of us all singing on the same mic, all the different harmonies and stuff. And that's, yeah.
I gotta say, Jeffrey, you are amazing with that.
Oh,
so I gotta talk to you about collaborations, because have you thought of like any singer that you want to sing with, any songwriter, producers, or musicians, and how would they enhance your sound?
Yeah, the first person I mentioned earlier, Janelle Monáe, would be an amazing collaboration. I have no idea what we would do, but I just think she's one of the most talented artists on the planet. And I would love to see how I could bring my art to what she's doing, or vice versa. If she wants to write a song for me, that'd be great. But
I would love to hear you guys do "Pressure Off," which is her collaboration she did with Duran Duran and Nile Rodgers.
Sure,
it would be what
I said. Yeah. Love that song.
Absolutely, because that song you would take that song to another level.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot, man. I think another one would be Kelly Clarkson. I'd be very scared to have her to be singing next to her, because she's one of the all-time great singers. But I'd love to do a duet with her. Every time I see her doing a duet with a new artist, I'm just like, one day that's gonna be me.
Well, you need to put it out in the universe, because Kelly has done a lot of work with a lot of people. Like, I gotta say, my favorite duet of hers is with John Legend, "Run, Run, Run."
Yeah, love that song.
It's absolutely wonderful. And then also, I gotta say, keeping score with Dan and Shay, that was epic.
Oh man, she kind of just can't miss. Anytime I see her covering someone else's music too, it's just like, well, now that's Kelly's song, because she's just very artful.
Or when she invites people into those songs, like for example when she did Reba and "Because of You."
Absolutely. That I think she did one with Teddy Swims that I absolutely loved too. It was great. Yeah.
Absolutely. Kelly has a phenomenal voice, and I hope and pray that we get to see you and Kelly duet on maybe her talk show one day.
I love that. Thanks, man.
All righty. So that's pretty cool. So let's talk about social media.
Yes. I am on, you can find me on Instagram, Jeffrey James Official. Website's jeffreyjames.com for all things Jeffrey James. And TikTok, I am Jeffrey James. And let's see, YouTube is like just Jeffrey James. So if you Google Jeffrey James, I'm one of the first things that pops up, and you should be able to find me.
Awesome. And guys, if you miss an episode of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast, there's our channels on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Spotify, Spreaker. It's Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOB ELYACHAR. Now, are you on social media? Because I'm on social media too. Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, YouTube. Jacob Elyachar, JACOB ELYACHAR. And if you want to see my review of Day by Day, visit jakes-take.com. Once again, jakes-take.com. Jeffrey, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk with me today. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to our next conversation.
This is so fun, man. I'll come back anytime you want me.
Awesome. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, everybody, goodbye.